Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Clutch Crypto with Trading Bros and Coffee, and we got it right yesterday. Let's see if we can get it right again today. Let's jump into the charts with B. Wellington.
All right, so let's see here. This is the screen I'm sharing. A little fucked up today. So here we go. Let me get all this out of the way,
Woo!
edit all that out. But look, so here we are back on the daily. We talked about this yesterday, right? And so we went ahead and declined. We've got this vector candle here to the downside. We did end up closing, right on the 50. And so below the 200, so that's positive. And we're also within the same candle here for today, which is very well likely. As you can see, I've got my faux market cipher uh,
Did you
momentum wave
did you
here.
renew that?
No, no, no. There's a free version online. I was looking at it yesterday, and
Oh man,
there's a free version, and it also I'll show it to you. I'll show everybody. So these are the ones that are locked. Wu Manchu Cipher B divergences. Because I was looking for something that could show me an RSI with a divergence.
yeah.
And when I looked up RSI divergence, it gave me this. And so again, not I know we're accustomed to looking at this and looking at the dots here and everything else, but I do like the fact that we get these momentum divergences that are pointed out. This is actually not a feature on Market Cipher, I don't believe. Do you remember them marking off divergences or not?
Yeah, a little bit, man. It's been
I
a
don't,
long time since we
for
used it.
me, I don't know. I didn't use it for that long. But this RSI here, it was really what I was looking for. So I was like, screw it. If I'm going to do it, I'll just go ahead
I
and
remember
do
what
it.
the
So,
green dots mean, dog.
well, I mean, we can say that, but look, I mean, again, this is on the daily, right?
Nah.
So this green dot, this divergence, right? And then boom, we shoot up here. We've got some red dots here, but like again, I'm not putting too much into it outside of RSI and momentum waves relative to that. The fact of the matter is we got up here, we got a bunch of traders that were probably going to trade this breakout to the upside. We've had this two vector candles that have come to the downside. We're settling below the 50 on the daily. All that is I won't say positive, but would lead you to believe that we would move further down. Even if we're looking at the RSI here, when it normally gets in this low, it'll generally either stay here or move back up to the upside, which would indicate that we'll have probably some sort of pump or just a reversal of the lows. But then we've got this momentum wave that's coming to the downside as well. We've got a nice amount of volume that's coming in. If we go into the hourly, which is probably going to be indicative of what happens, today and maybe through Wednesday. We have had this little vector candle that's come in at let's say in the last moment, but this last hour, but it really hadn't gone anywhere, not substantially. Get all this stuff out of the way. Really hadn't gone anywhere substantial. So, this was a little bit of the setup, that we were talking about. I think we talked about this maybe briefly yesterday. We came below the daily open. We've gone off the daily open, or at least broke out of the daily open. I would imagine that there's some people that are going long off of that, off of this breakout. And so we've here in the 50 on the 1 hour. So I imagine that we retrace off of this 50. And we may come up all the way. I would imagine just kind of where we are and kind of the momentum that we're on, that we get up to this 800, maybe closer to it, that 800. We've got the pivot point here as well. So get up into this area and then probably see a reversal back down. We've got this vector candle here on the 1 hour that we've got to recover as well. So I would imagine is that we've come back up, touched the 50. I think we'll go ahead and revert back down. If we do revert back down and don't continue back up, then I would look to see somewhere in that 29.41, 29.50 area for if it holds, for it to come back up. If it doesn't hold and if it breaks the 29.37, then I think we're going to continue to head to the downside. And of course, we've got this trend line here at kind of this 27.75 to 20,
Yeah.
27, yeah, 26.50, right? So that's just kind of the technical piece of it that's out there. If we hop onto the 5 minute, I think, because we had such a low in yesterday, it's very natural to expect us to cycle back up. This was a 5 minute, and to take out some shorts and encourage longs to move forward. We haven't had a lot of vectors, so that's not going to encourage a lot of traders to get on board. So we'll see if we go ahead and look at coin analyze, funding rate wise, it's mixed across the board. So I reduced my short, but I'm still in my short. And one of the things that I like to look at when I'm in my short is um, if you look at it, you can see on the hour if you've gotten paid for being in a short, or if you've been charged for being in a position, I would say a short. And this morning, I actually was charged, it's just a small amount, 40 cents, whatever it was. But that would indicate there's a lot more shorts that are out there especially on the Bybit exchange, which is where we trade. And then you can tell here, we kind of got a mixed bag. So I don't think a really definitive direction has been chosen just yet. I think everybody is a little bit probably stunned from the move to the downside. Um, Typical, there's strategies that will tell you this is a retrace, bounce off the 50 and then continuation up, right? Like a rise level one. So we'll see. I mean, we've got to get confirmation before that happens. But we're still at that point where there's probably going to be a lot of activity liquidity wise that comes into the chart. This is the OI, which is decreased by 3%. I'm just talking about the perpetual at the 7.1 billion. And so, we're still over 7 billion. At one point in the lows, we're at, 5.2, 5.3 billion. So there's still a lot of liquidity in the market to take. We do have news that came out this morning, which, the market's already open. The traditional markets are pumping, which is expected because of what happened yesterday. But, I don't know why this still says futures. Here we go. So we've got, markets are up. It's very early though, right? These markets can come down. I like how, you've got, headlines like Russian Railways becomes first company official default in the country, global shares slide. The U.S. is urging India not to step up imports of Russian oil, but yet markets have rebounded. Oil's, was at 92, I think, yesterday. It's moved back up, considerably, almost at $100 range again. And so, and then of course, Bitcoin being up as well. I didn't mean to click on that. But if we go to Tuesday, which is today, and look at some of the numbers that have come out, consumer price index has come out. That came out at 8:30. Markets reacting to that. It may be actually reacting in a negative way because the futures was way up this morning and have actually come down somewhat. But CPI came in at 1.2, expected at 1.1, so it's a little higher than normal. Core CPI on a monthly basis is reduced, but CPI year over year, is very close with, over the estimate of 8.4, way over last year of 7.9. And then core CPI year over year is right in line. So we'll have some comments later today from some of the Fed presidents relative to that. Tomorrow we just got, the producer price index, and then Thursday is a big day again. Initial jobless claims, retail sales. We've kind of gone through this. So, that's all I got on my end. I did pull up Exo charts a bit. Was looking at this on the TPO. So this is Bybit. 3231 is the POC. This is a merge of about 14 hours here. And so, here we are at 3055. If we extend out on Exo, you can see that, this is just, the more that you put these sessions together, it's going to impact the POC. And so all these POCs are lower here. So over a longer time frame, your POC changes. If we look at, OI and just net longs and net shorts, You can see here from that last drop, those longs have declined. Shorts increased, but shorts also took a profit. So we haven't had just a huge amount of shorts. I think everybody's kind of nervous and waiting to see what's going on. But obviously, there has been some shorts that come on board, but I don't think it's been too substantial. So that's all I got on my end. Let's look at High Block and Bookmap and kind of see what the dealie is, dog.
Let's check it out. I block capital. Oh, you can't see, can you? Hold on.
Not yet.
No momento. Okay, let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
All right, cool. So this is High Block Capital. This is the E chart. This is something that we look at every day. As you can see, we kind of maxed out down here at negative 6.6 billion. That's actually pretty typical in the middle of the reversal, believe it or not. We've kind of creeped our way back up here. We're currently sitting around negative 4.8 billion. Something that you really want to pay attention to for possible reversal areas is when we start seeing these big bubbles start popping up for we've been on a downtrend recently, and so we want to start seeing these big bubbles start popping up, and then us slowly start moving up to the upside. However, as you can see, we still have a lot of big liquidations, like 61 million at 3017, 29.55. These were areas that we were just in, in the last 24 hours. But something, if you zoom in here, that you can really, look at is a whole bunch of green dots.
Green dots.
So, as you can see, all of these green dots here, there's an abundance of green dots, which are longs. These are people going long here. So, how high, and then we're even still seeing a whole bunch of them right here in this area too. So you're having a lot of people really trying to go long in this particular area that we're in. How high will they allow us to go before they want to come in and squeeze all these longs out of the picture? I'm going to say anywhere from where we're currently at, up to before we're breaking this peak right here, which is 31.86. So I would say anywhere between now and 31.86. We'll look at Bookmap here in a minute to see if we have a wall of orders, right before this 31.86 area, and kind of in between where we're at, to try to get a good idea, decent idea on, okay, where could we potentially, have this end to this stop hunt coming up to the top, so that way we can flush out all these longs that came on board and maybe see some continuation to the downside. So let's swing over to Bookmap real quick, take a look and see what that tells us. Okay, so can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see, CBD slowly starting to creep up. We had a flip for the, actually maybe we didn't. We haven't seen a flip yet for the difference, I don't believe. Oh yeah, right here, as you can see, normally when this is above the CBD, it's a good indication that we're continuing to see things to the downside. As you can see, we came down into this area. We fought making the transition. We've actually flipped. CBD's on its way back up because we were in the negative, 20s, almost negative 30s for CBD as of yesterday. As you can see, it's slowly starting to creep its way up. We still do have orders down here to the downside, but what it's doing is it's continuing to push price up, which this is, this is all the green dots that we saw on High Block. These are just people going along on these orders and continuing to, these are the bulls moving price forward, so, or move upward. So let's zoom out real quick to try to see if we see a heavy area right before that 3180 point. And as you can see, we don't have anything yet here in the chart. Something that does give me a little bit more confidence that we're going to continue to see some stuff to the downside here It's this big red bubble right here, where there were a lot of shorts that absorbed a bunch of longs here. So I would anticipate here that we're probably going to see some more action to the downside. As you can see when we zoom out, we're really heavily weighted to the downside. So it's just kind of a matter of, and as we zoomed in here, you can see that we still have our difference for the orders is still above the CVD when we kind of do a good zoom in here. So New York opened about 22 minutes ago. I'm expecting, are we still doing a little bit of a pump, or kind of looks like we kind of pumped up and consolidated, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we kind of stalled a little bit.
Here it is.
NASDAQ, I mean, S&P hasn't, though. I mean,
here it
at least
is.
NASDAQ, which a lot of the stock prices, yeah.
So we were talking about not breaking 3180 on high block while ago, right? Here's some orders right here that popped up right in the 3150 range. So I would be paying attention close to this 3150 range, kind of to see if we get a bounce off of this area. If we get that high, it does look like we might keep trying to move up there just to get some more longs trapped before we try to sort of squeeze them out. So my prediction today is we do start out with a pump not exceeding 3180 area like we talked about. If we do break that area, I would expect us to continue to the upside. However, if we get a nice bounce right up here in this range where we do have a heavy volume order, if we do get that high, I would expect more drawdown, and I would probably expect a pretty violent move too, because we've been really working this area for the last 24 hours in this range that we've been in, because literally we're not too much far above where we were yesterday during our show where we're currently at. We dropped down into the 29, I think we got down to 29.40 with the wick, and now we're right back up here to kind of where we were at yesterday. So that's to do with the market. The psychological effects are always mind-blowing, and that's pretty much all we have today. You have any other guesses on how you think the market's going to react to today's stuff?
I think, I mean, we were down about 6-7% yesterday. We pumped up like 2-3%, today. That's normal. People buying the dip. Whether or not it continues, we'll have to see. Like you said, those key areas that are there, but it doesn't seem like, there's a lot of activity just yet. No big vectors, nothing that has really said that we're gonna move. So we've got this pump. I expect us to be up, maybe 2-3%, and then going into Wednesday, I don't think they're going to give all of that 7% back just yet.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so that's kind of how they like to go down 7-8%, then give you back a little bit 3% to get folks that want to buy the dip, get those guys trapped, scare out some of the shorts, and then continue to the downside later this week. So maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and some of that news comes out. But it could happen today. Who knows? I mean, we got this little pump over the night. So we'll see what New York does. I mean, that's all I got on my end, but that's what I'm anticipating for the market.
Cool, man. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, 8:15 Central Standard Time. Until next time, AM.